Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another build video. And I'm always excited when I get to do one of these because this is the most requested topic on both streams and YouTube comments. And I did a build video recently, but there have been one major upgrade. And after about 3,000 hours and a few hundred hours extra on top of that, I finally have a full beast Bruiser setup, and this is what I want to showcase in this video. Obviously, like, this took so much time, and I probably wouldn't have all of this if it wasn't for just, you know, streaming the game so much and just being able to put that many hours into the game. Obviously, a little bit of help from Bonsai as well, can't lie when it comes to that. But a lot of M10s were run to obtain this gear, and yeah, just want to showcase it in this video. So, first of all, the most important thing, let's just go and, you know, get this out of the way. Greataxe, you have to be running this. This is going to be for wars, by the way. There's a little bit of switches I do when I play OPR, but this is what I run in wars. This is pretty much a standard. Sometimes I feel like I want to play Reap, but it's not really that great. But this is going to be your standard Bruiser Greataxe. And this is going to be your standard Warhammer. However, you can also run no POD and run Armor Breaker. It's a very solid setup. Or you can run no Wrecking Ball and run Armor Breaker as well. Also a solid setup. Depends what kind of thing you need in your group. But this is going to be what I personally run in wars. And it is tested, proven, 200 plus wars. It's going to work. Okay, trust me. This one's going to be perfect for you. With that in mind, let's go and take a look at the gear setup. So, I am going to leave the weapons for the very last, because that's where the upgrades are from. And basically, yeah, let's just get right into it. So, on the helm, we have a Shirking Resi Crit Retribution. Now, here's the first dilemma, where you could consider going Shirking Resi and one of the useful perks, or another Shirking Resi and Freedom. However, I personally think that people sleep on the Crit Retribution, and since because I very often like to run this ring, which does not have a crit chance on it, then I actually justify this as my bis. But I do also have a Shirking Resi Freedom helmet that I like to run when I switch into a Champions ring, but more on that in a little bit. Moving on to the body, we're gonna have a Freedom Shirking Resi. And before I fully go through everything, I'm also gonna tell you how much I paid for these pieces. So this helmet I got on the marketplace for 50k. I think it was a very solid deal. This body was basically paid from a player. It was around 900k at a time. Right now the price for something like that is about 700k, so a little bit lower because the patch is going to have golden scarabs, so crafting beast might be a little bit easier. Moving on to the glove, I personally prioritize having 4 freedom pieces in wars. There are build setups that are gonna prioritize having refresh in wars. In wars, and there's gonna be builds that will just have more perks. I personally, the only perks I want to run is Insatiable Gravity Well on armor and Shockwave on hammer. Those are the only 2 perks I run. Useful perks are also Leeching Path of Destiny, Enfeebling Maelstrom on the weapon, not on the armor, and Leeching Path of Destiny on the armor, of course. But this one, Resi, Freedom, Insatiable Gravity Well on a medium glove is a perfect piece for me. It covers the Freedom, it covers the Resi, and obviously we get the perk that I wanted as well. Moving on to the light legs, we have a Freedom Shirking Resi full base, also full base for pretty much every single build in the game. I would heavily recommend getting light legs with these 3 perks because it's gonna be absolutely phenomenal. So this was about 600k piece when I bought it. Right now that's about coin cap. Moving on to my heavy boots, once again Resi Shirking Freedom. This was 400k at the time when I bought it. Right now you can get it anywhere between 300k to coin cap, so 500k. Together, if we take a look, that's gonna be 5 Resi, 4 Shirking, 4 Freedom, and 1 perk. I could also run, and obviously Crit Retribution. I also have a helmet where I can run 5 Resi, 5 Shirking, 5 Resi, 5 Freedom, and 4 Shirking Fortification. And that's pretty much, in my opinion, 2 setups that are gonna be full biz for literally, like, everything, right? But let's say I wanna run a different build. I just take these boots, Freedom Shirking Resi, this legs, Freedom Shirking Resi, and this body, Freedom Shirking Resi, all being con, and I can run any medium build in the game by just switching off the medium helmet or switching off the medium glove. For example, IGVG, swap this into Nullifying Oblivion, swap this into like Unending Thaw or something, and you have yourself a very nice IGVG build, obviously if you have the weapons, right? But let's move on to jewelry. And this is going to be a full biz for Bruiser, so stamina recovery / protection health, you cannot go wrong with that. If you do not have this, Champion's Amulet is going to be perfect. If you do not have Champion's Amulet, stamina recovery health and some sort of protection is what you're looking at the markets to buy. For example, this piece when I bought it was 400k, pardon, like 300 or 200k, or was it 400? I don't remember. Around 200 or 400k. Right now, you should be able to get this for the similar price. However, notable amulet would also be a stem recovery, thrust protection and health. If you're a healer, mage, bow, something like that, that's gonna be your biz. In this occasion, this is my biz, and yeah, it's a perfect amulet, does the job, saves me from a lot of damage. It's a very good amulet. Moving on to ring, a little bit controversial. Nobody runs Mortal Empowerment on Bruiser, but I personally have had so much success with it, both in OPRs and wars. If I ever get to like 5+ stacks and I haven't died yet, the damage output just starts to skyrocket. Like 5 kills is 10% bonus damage. If I manage to go to like 10 kills, that's 20% bonus damage on every single thing that I do. Oftentimes I'll be in wars with 15 stacks, just one-hitting people as a medium bruiser. Obviously those wars tend to be sometimes a bit easier, but nonetheless I love running this. However, if I see this not working out, I also have a Champion's Ring in the backup, right? So I can always swap into a Champion's Ring, and I have multiple variants of it. I have this one on 6-5 with Heartache Awareness and Vig Punishment, of course. But this one has Onyx, and then we have this one here with Thrust Protection. So if you can imagine, I'm playing OPR, I'm running into 20 bows, I'm just gonna swap into Thrust Protection Champion's Ring. And then obviously moving on to the earrings, currently running Doom's Chance earring, but obviously because I have so much gear with Constitution, I have to run Doom's Chance. If I had like one strength piece, I could also run Champion's Ring, and once again a Champion's Earring, pardon, and obviously looking at my Champion's Earrings, I will also have them in a lot of different gems. So I have one for PvE, so I usually like to tank in PvE because tanks are always hard to get, so I have one where I can swap the gems around depending on the mutation. I have one where I'm playing OPR and I'm getting fucked by bows, so I run Thrust Damage Absorption, and then I have one for wars where I just run a Onyx gem. And that's gonna cover your jewelry, that's gonna cover your armor, and now we're gonna move on to actual upgrades of this build, which is gonna be the weapons. Obviously this one is still from M10 Depths, is Warhammer that I don't plan on switching anytime soon, even the next patch, as the Kindling Power gets nerfed. It has Shockwave and it has Rogue and it has Kindling Power on top of that. My favorite combo to do in game at the moment when I play OPRs or wars is when my cooldowns on Greataxe are down, I like to go for a Wrecking Ball into Dodge Shockwave into full heavy in the back. And if I have 5+ stacks, that is usually a lethal combination. People sleep on how strong the Shockwave is because it inflicts rends, and then the Keenly Empowered on top of that with Rogue into the back. It deals 6,000-7,000 damage with people never expecting it. It is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion, and all you need to do is land the Wrecking Ball, dodge Shockwave, and then go for a full heavy. And that is a combo that's not often seen, because obviously people usually go for Grav, Shockwave, Spin, right? But that's the combo I like to do on squishies. If I catch a healer or a bow in that combo without them having freedom pieces, they're gonna be lethal. They're gonna be basically in a one-hit situation. Okay, and now moving on to the actual upgrade of the build. There it is, the splitting apart with 3 biz perks. Company member called Amir got this on the market. Guess the price, for 150k. So if whoever sold this item for 150k is watching this video, you got absolutely robbed. This is going to be a 700 to 800k piece at the moment. And obviously I always wanted the refreshing move Thwarting Strikes, a Greataxe with an additional damaging perk. Now, You could run Attunement, that would be great. You can run Chain Lightning, that would be great. You can run Maelstrom, that would be great. You could run Shirking damage, that would also be great. But my personal preference is actually chain damage, and the fact that it's Chain Lightning with no lightning damage options being in the game, I think that's like actually the perfect Greataxe that I've always wanted. Chain Lightning, if you don't know, every 2 seconds it's gonna do a little bounce damage, but it also deals the damage to the target you're hitting. So often I'll be hitting like a 2k swing and the lightning damage is gonna hit for like 400 on top of that. So instead of 2k, I'll be hitting 2.4k and then 400s to the people around. So it's a very nice stat padding axe, and it also adds nice amount of value, nice amount of damage to the actual person you're targeting. And that is going to be it. That is the build. That is what we run in wars at the moment. And obviously health potion on the 3, cleansing potion on the 4, infused regeneration potion on the 5, and on the mouse we're running a gemstone dusts. Together, this is the bonuses that I have. Usually I would have a fire gem in, but I noticed I don't really die anymore with this exact setup. Like, this is my war setup. 3 opals pretty much cover, with the 2 diamonds that I have on rings, pretty much cover all the magic damage that I would ever take. And thrust protection kind of takes care of the whole blunderbuss situation as well. Like, I usually ran fire damage resistance. I felt like I never needed it, moved on to thrust damage resistance, and I pretty much die 1 to 2 times a war when I make my own mistake. And other than that, we're completely chilling. Now, this can obviously be optimized depending on what you get damaged by, but this is pretty much what I started running in the wars, in the OPRs, and I'm having great success with it. Obviously, this is completely open to discussion. Someone could be running more moonstones. Obviously, I have the slash protection on the amulet. Someone could be running more thrust protection because they're getting railed by bows, by spears, whatever. Maybe some servers have a lot of fire damage, so they need to implement a little bit of fire gems into their armor. So this is something you have to adapt through your playstyle, obviously, as you play the game. And this is going to be it. I hear you, by the way. I will be making a PvE video as well, because a lot of people ask me about my mutation gear, my tank gear, my 5-con DPS builds for dungeons, and this is just a little sneak peek. If you look at the apparel, all of these items are 6 to 5, all of these items are basically perfected for the speedruns, for the M10 speedruns. That being said, thank you once again for watching my New World videos, and if you made it this far, consider subscribing. We're closing in on 8k on the second channel, which is amazing. You know, it's absolutely amazing, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but 300 to 10 is what you want to reach. And yeah, I mean, this is it. There's nothing else to say. Just wanted to do a little quick update video on the gear, on the splitting apart Greataxe. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be safe, and I'll see you on the live streams. Have a good one. Bye-bye.